There's this Ray Lewis quote that's been rattling around in my mind. You can never touch a level of greatness until your comfort zone is disturbed. It just hits different, doesn't it?
That quote always gives me goosebumps. It's wild how easy it is to settle into what feels safe, but real growth just doesn't happen there. I mean, every time I've made a big change in my life, it started with an uncomfortable jolt.
Exactly. Sometimes it's like your world gets shaken up and you can either cling tighter to comfort or lean into the discomfort and see what's on the other side. It reminds me of how books can open up those doors, too.
Absolutely. And on the topic of books, Marian Wright Edelman once said, "A good book can pry open the locks of poverty and hopelessness." That's such a powerful image, books as keys. Makes me wonder how many of us are still locked in because we're clinging to comfort.
That actually reminds me sometimes the right book comes along and just shakes up your worldview. It's almost like it holds up a mirror and says, "Hey, look at yourself from a new angle."
I felt that way the first time I read something that challenged my old habits. It's uncomfortable to confront your own limitations, but it's kind of liberating too. That's one reason I'm so drawn to The Valley of You.
We all have those moments where a book or even just a line from a book becomes a lifeline, right? The Valley of You strikes me as that kind of lifeline, encouraging us to escape self-absorption and grow beyond ourselves.
Totally. And sometimes we need that little nudge from a book to ransom ourselves out of old thinking. It's like using a story to break free from the stories we've been telling ourselves for years.
Switching gears a bit, I think it's so easy to get stuck in what the Valley of You calls the wilderness of self-consciousness and self-pity, especially after we make mistakes.
It's almost like quicksand. The more you dwell on past decisions, the harder it is to move forward. I've definitely caught myself replaying old regrets, thinking I'm just reflecting, but really I'm just getting stuck.
I can relate to that. It's such a sneaky trap, isn't it? You think you're just processing, but before you know it, you're wallowing. That's why I love the idea of this book being a guide out of that valley.
And what's cool is that it doesn't just tell you to snap out of it. It actually helps you examine why you're there in the first place, what led you into that valley, and then points to a path out.
One thing we hardly talk about is how our personal growth doesn't just change us, it ripples out and affects everyone around us. When we move past our self-imposed limits, we give others permission to do the same.
Exactly. It's like when you see a friend push through something tough, you suddenly feel braver yourself. Sometimes serving others or being a source of encouragement is what pulls us out of our own valleys, too.
So true. It's this wild chain reaction. One person grows, and then it sparks a change in someone else. I think that's the hidden power in these kinds of books. They don't just help individuals, they can shift entire communities.
And honestly, isn't discovering our purpose so often tied to how we show up for others? Personal growth isn't just for our own sake, it's the starting point for making a real impact.
Funny enough, when I think about purpose, it rarely looks like this shining, obvious path. More often, it unravels when we focus on helping someone else or stepping outside ourselves.
That's the twist, isn't it? We spend so much time searching for our own purpose, but sometimes it finds us when we're busy making a difference for others. The Valley of You really leans into that idea.
And that's why I genuinely hope this book inspires people to look beyond themselves. Living with purpose feels less like a destination and more like a daily practice of reaching out, growing, and learning.
Couldn't agree more. If this book can nudge just one person out of their comfort zone and into a place where they can help others, that's huge. Here's to living with intention and lifting each other up along the way.